Shalom family, all praises to the Most High and His Son, Christ the King. And respect to the 12 tribes scattered, greetings. This is 12 tribes culture with Jakim Ben Israel. What we're actually going to be doing is doing a review of the past 10 chapters that, I've been going over. I mean, all praises to the Most High that you've been following along with me. And you can tell this is straight wisdom. This is some nuggets. A lot of people would really love this information, man. But wisdom, only very few will actually seek out such knowledge. So if you're here listening, guess what? You're one of the few. Okay? And once you start looking for wisdom, other things come along with it. So be prepared, all right? Now, where we left off last time, all right, we got to chapter 20, okay? Before that, we did a review on the first 10 chapters. We're going to go again. All right, so in chapter 11, all right, chapter 11, one of the things that caught my eye was in verse 7, okay? This is what it says. It says, blame not before thou hast examined the truth, okay? Understand first, then rebuke, all right? Now, you see this goes on a lot in society where they'll just give you the worst judgment and then try to figure out things after. Okay? You see that happen with a lot of blacks and Latinos get locked up. The police rush to judgment, or even in the family. Guess what? Mom and dad may rush to a judgment and it's not what everybody's making it out to be. Okay? So that's why the scriptures say, just chill. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first, then rebuke. Then you can correct. Okay? Just don't jump up ready to condemn somebody. Alright, it says in verse 2, commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. You see somebody look ugly or whatever, the Bible is saying you don't do that. You don't tell them, oh yeah, you look so crazy and you look... Nah, man, keep that to yourself, because everybody's style is different, okay? And however God made someone look, they can't change it. All they could do is just look presentable, all right? What it says first, it says, commend not a man for his beauty. Effeminate. That's what it's going into. You can't get effeminate in your feelings, okay? So another man is not supposed to tell another man he's beautiful, all right? You respect another man in other ways, man to man. All right? In chapter 12, it says, do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. All right? You're going to get payback. And if not from him, yet from the Most High. So don't worry. Sometimes you got to help out your fellow Israelite brothers. If you got to help them out, and you know they can't return the favor, don't worry, the Most High got you. This is just what it is. That's how it's going to be set up. All right? It says, for the Most High hated sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the day of their punishment. So in the Christian church, they would tell you, God love everybody. All right? Right here is telling you, guess what? God hated sinners. All right? I forget how the term goes. They say God loves the sinner but hates the sin. That's incorrect, brother. That's incorrect. All right? Verse 10. Never trust your enemies, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. This is a perfect example on how governments are taken over by other nations. Like, give you an example, like in Jamaica, some of these islands, all right? We know the British, the so-called white man, is actually the enemy of Jamaica. They put them in slavery and then transferred them to the island, and now they build up the island and have it, it's famous. Now you have Europeans going down there, getting themselves in government, and because, the black man is so nice and so humble, okay, they see value in having a man from another culture in their government. They start bringing their kids to the school. Now they live in the islands. They grow up with the community. All this time they have relocated to the islands to build history, to one day be in government and take over the seat of the people who run the island. Same thing in business. You have somebody working with you. They're envious. They want your position. They're your enemy. They're going to come crouching. They have some advice. Hey, I can get this loan for you. All you need is my cosign. Whoop, whoop. Guess what? They were always wicked to you. And now they're being friends. Their plan is to overthrow you. All right? So it says in verse 11, though he humbleth himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. This is the point. Set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, well, he is going to overthrow you, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. Lest he seek to take thy seat. This is going on right now. In Africa, in the islands, they're so happy to see foreigners, they just give away the whole inheritance. Everything for their future sons and daughters, they just give it away. All right? But this is because we don't know our wisdom that's in the Bible. Because these things that I'm reading, our forefathers went through the hard mistakes. All right? Went through the hard mistakes of basically trial and error, trusting people. All right? And then got taken advantage of. This even happened in the Native American community. You have people going in there, living amongst them. All of a sudden now, they're now saying that they are Native Americans to get the benefits. Okay? So you have to be aware. So that's why the Most High say in verse 13, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? You can't be messing around with people who are envious and who have a history of taking from the poor. So you must be mindful. All right? Chapter 13. What is that going into? Chapter 13 in verse 25. It says, the heart of a man changeth his countenance, whether it be for good or evil, and a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. All right, verse 26. A cheerful countenance is a token of a heart that is in prosperity. All right, and the finding out of parables is a wearisome labor of the mind. Because you read a lot of books and you're trying to find out the deep sayings of great men. Guess what? You're gonna be tired. You know what I mean? Because these things are so important to you. There's a never ending how can I say it, journey of finding out and getting knowledge. Okay, it's limitless. There's hundreds of books, thousands of books, and there's always new things that you could find out and learn. All right. Verse 23, it says, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. You're like, okay. And look, what he saith, they exalted it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. All right, that just goes into envy and just being covetous to other people. All right, so you got to be careful, man, because you just can't move anywhere out here trusting anybody. You got to be aware of who you're dealing with. All right, let's see. It says, as a wild ass is, this is verse 19, okay, in chapter 13. As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. That going into Them guys like Epstein and them, man. All right? The Bill Clintons, them. Okay? These people here who have money and they pray on Haiti. Okay? They prey on the black Latinos and Native Americans. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of minority communities that are taking care of the suburbs. They just came out. A lot of minority communities, as run down as you see them, they are helping to push their own gentrification. They are able to basically, how can I say it? It's not a benefit to them. All right? And at the end of the day, you have more poor than rich. So the rich are using the poor to step up in life. And this is documented too in the records. Okay? That's why it says, verse 19, so the rich eateth up the poor, as the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. All right? It's crazy out here, man. Ever since the Roman days, the military days, man has become more wicked. And our forefathers wrote the books like Ecclesiasticus. All right? In the Apocrypha. And make sure we could have wisdom so we don't have to always start over, so we don't have to learn those hard lessons. So this is why we read in wisdom, and this is why we have to constantly, repent, ask the Most High for forgiveness, and get deep into wisdom. It can only be found in His Word. Okay? Go to chapter 14. In chapter 14 now, one of the things I see, it says, riches are not comely for a niggard. You never thought that you heard that word. And what should an envious man do with money? It's asking you the question, because an envious man, guess what? The envious man is going to end up trying to steal and rob. And the things they try to steal and rob, they're going to get catch or put to death. And they're not going to enjoy the money because of their envious ways. All right? So that's why it says riches are not comely for a niggard, because a niggard just wants to just get and get and get and get. And it's usually because of what he's seeing. Envious. He doesn't need those things. So he needs and wants so much stuff, all right, that it becomes evil to him. And how it becomes evil? Because these things now, he's not going to get them through honest gain. He's going to try rob, steal. Somebody going to have to die. And then when the avenger come, okay, the avenger, of course, in the Bible, if a man legitimately kills you, it's crazy I'm saying it like that. If a man kills you, especially your own nation or even the other nations, you have a right to get them back, biblically. You don't have to worry if the Most High is going to say, you know what, you killed a man. Nah, somebody killed a relative, your son or daughter, you don't forgive them. You have the right to take their life and be okay. Guess what? You may be put in prison in the current city or town or country or kingdom. All right, they may have their own rules, but as far as the Bible goes, a mob come to your house and kills one of your family members, you have a right to go after these people biblically and basically get revenge. This is in the scriptures. Verse 10. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. This one of them dudes, man, you invite to a party, a function, they see all the food when they walk in, and by the time they're done, they got 6 plates. Okay? When he's sitting down, his plate is the fullest. You gotta watch people like those. Alright? Because what they're really saying is nobody else deserve any. The Bible called him a niggard. That's why you know this Bible was written by us, to us, okay? And about the things that we have experienced through these captivities. Okay? Verse 20. Blessed is the man that doth meditate good things in wisdom, and that reasoneth of holy things by his understanding. Okay? So that's a good thing, because you have some people, they read books, read the Bible, and they're going to sit down and meditate about what they read. It's that important to them. Okay? So some of the verses, some of the chapters that I went over, go over them. You should, by now, order the book, the Apocrypha, and go through these wisdoms, man, because let me tell you, you're not going to find these things out here. This is giving you sound doctrine, a sound way how a man should live his life is in record. Just think about King Solomon, okay? The things that he taught and the things that he had told people, they wrote these things down. And these things are passed down in our records called the Bible. Alright? The Bible is not a white man's book. The Bible is the book of the Israelites. It was stolen when the Romans came into Jerusalem, burned it to the ground. They took our records, they took our gold, and they took our candlesticks. The Bible is the history books of the Hebrews, the ancient Hebrews. The Bible in the hands of other nations is stolen property. I don't understand. I don't even think you guys get that around your head yet. That's a whole nother video. Alright? It's serious.